let's go into that. So I ended up getting hired for Sephora. I went for a position that I seen when I went in. I was purchasing something. I think I was purchasing a lip gloss for around my birthday, and I seen that they had positions open. It was part-time. And I was working full-time at one job, and I wanted to pick up some extra cash. So I was like, okay, I'll just apply for Sephora. So I ended up applying, and I ended up going through the interview process, and it's nothing like MAC. Like MAC is real selective. Sephora wasn't really selective like that. Like I think I had one interview, and it was a group interview, and then it was like branched off into like a one-person interview or whatever. But needless to say, I ended up getting a position for the job, and it was the Sephora inside of JCPenney's. That was another thing too. It wasn't like a freestanding Sephora, so I don't really know if like the experience is different, but the when I worked, I was inside of a JCPenney's. So some of the pros. The pros for MAC, oh, not MAC, whoop. So some of the pros for Sephora were skincare. Like they really focus on skincare, and that's something that wasn't my strong suit. So working there, I had to learn about so many different like skincare regimens and, you know, moisturizers, masks, sprays, primers. So it was like a different world for me. So Sephora is really on the skincare thing, so I did like that, and I think I learned how to really take care of my skin, like prep before makeup or even without makeup, from when I worked at Sephora. And then they had like some really good brands. Another pro I would say would be the wide range of products. I had to learn about so many different products. Like Sephora is almost like the Walmart of makeup. It was a lot, and I liked it because it wasn't like condensing me like when I was at MAC, where I had to really tell a client about MAC products that some of them I really believed in, some of them I didn't. With Sephora, I can go to Smashbox, I can go to Tarte, I can go to Makeup Forever, and I can pick things from each one to really customize that visit for that client. So that's what I really liked. Like it was like shopping. When someone came in and they're like, oh, I want to buy a new concealer, I was able to shop with that person. And personally, I think that made it selling a lot easier for me, because it was a different range of products that I can, you know, show a client versus just like all one thing. So I will say I love the wide range of products the company had. Also with our gratis and our makeup, we got so many different things. I was working around the time Fenty Beauty came out, so Fenty was like a big thing. I got like a couple of products from that. I was just able to like really get so much stuff that I've never had before, and it was just all different, and it included a lot of skincare. So I will say that gratis was like bomb. That's it for the pros. The cons of working there was the staff. It wasn't many of us. We had, I think when I started working there, not including the managers, 4 people worked for the company, for that location. 4 people in a mall, inside of JCPenney's. Why? You know, so we were working more than part-time. Once again, I'm part-time, I work during the week. I only really wanted to work on the weekends. I let that be known in the beginning. During my interview, it was accommodated or said to be accommodated. It never was. I legit was working 30 hours as a part-time person who only said I can work Saturday and Sunday. And I was being nice because it was like, okay, this is my first 2 weeks. You know, maybe he'll get it together. It's fine. No, never got it together. I was working 40 hours in my first job, and then I would work 30 hours on top of that. So I would leave one job and then go all the way across town to go to the next job and be on my feet until 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock that night. It was a lot. And I kept letting it be known, like, hey, you know, I thought I could only do this time. Like, this is what I asked for. And it was always a promise that it's going to be okay. But every time the next schedule came out, it wasn't the same. So that was one thing I didn't like. 4 people, when we worked, only 2 people would work. The managers would leave before we did. So every person I got hired with was new to the company. So we didn't know how to do a lot of things. Like, we were not taught how to use their registers. We were not taught on how to like do returns and all those things. So we were teaching each other, and we were asking other people who worked like outside of that location how to do stuff, because our managers would leave at work at like 6 o'clock and we closed at 9 o'clock, or we would close with only one person, and they close and they have like 15 to 20 people in a store that they have to show makeup to, they have to sell something, they have to ring them up, they have to return stuff and try to get out at a certain time because they were a stickler and wanted you out at a certain time. That's too much work. I will say, you know, it was good to kind of be able to bounce around, but I just felt like we were just being overworked and we were being totally underpaid. When it came down to Sephora, my pay was super low. It was like retail, super low. So that, coming from those two, it was just like, whoa, night and day, honestly. So I didn't like that at all. I wasn't taught anything. Now granted, I know a lot of stuff because I worked at Mac and I have my own experience as a freelance artist, but we didn't get like a proper training. We got like, sit in front of this computer, click on these tutorials, and watch this. Just like you're doing right now, you're watching YouTube. That's exactly what I did with working for the company. And I just felt like, okay, how do I get my hands-on experience? How do you teach, you know, your employees different than any other company would teach it? What's different? And it made me think, as an employee, like, if I come in, like, why am I trusting you? What do you know? How do you know as an employee to best suit me, to teach me how to do my makeup or teach me about these products? It was all based off of your own knowledge. So we didn't get that. And it was rushed. Also, I wasn't able to do makeup. So that was the one thing was not said in my interview, that I would just be selling and not actually doing makeup. So I had to, I guess you have to go through like all these certifications just to be able to do a full face makeup application. So in the meantime, all you can do is like 10-minute or 15-minute like little tutorials or like makeup looks on a person. So if someone came in and was like, hey, can you do my entire face for prom? I couldn't do it. Like, they'll have to book with one person who was completely booked up for like weeks. So, you know, people would just kind of get upset about that. So that was one thing I didn't like, because I was ready like to hit the ground running. I was ready to like sell some stuff. I was ready to do makeup and all that stuff. But it was like, no, you can't do that. And versus with Mac, I was able to do full face makeups. I was able to book my own clients. I was able to have people come in to see me. I was able to host my own classes. And I was able to do certifications along the way to just kind of boost myself up as an artist. And it was flip-flop, totally different. What else? I think like the thing that kind of just was like, yep, I'm not good. The retail makeup thing was the long hours, the selling portion, and then just like the atmosphere. I just feel like it just wasn't for me. So I just kind of did away with it, and was just like, you know, I'm not gonna say I don't like makeup. I'm not gonna say I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just gonna say that that portion of it is not for me. Here on YouTube, this is for me. On Instagram, showing looks, teaching, that's me. That's what I like to do. And I think I actually, both of those jobs, the biggest takeaway that I took from it was that I love to teach. I love to show people how to do what they're looking for. So each time when I went to like a training or anything, I fell in love with the training aspect of it. I fell in love with each one of my trainers from each one of those companies, and I was just like, okay, this is what I want to do. But I just don't want to do it for a big corp. I want to do it for myself, and I want to do it for like an everyday person, and I want to do it for the everyday woman or man or whoever, because I just feel like that's the caliber that we're not reaching. So that was one thing that I will say I took away from it, and I really loved my experience with both of them was to show me like, okay, I'm on the right route. This was just one of those, these were one of those stops that I needed to make, but I'm on the right track. So that's my experience with retail makeup. Like I said, I probably would never do retail makeup again, but I am back on YouTube. I will be doing YouTube tutorials. I will be doing a lot more with my channel.